This might be a short episode to end the act, but there are a couple things we need to do. One, I want to go to the bait shop. Conway and Shannon pull into the bait shop parking lot. We know what the bait shop looks like. The bait shop is closed. Enter the side door to Shannon's workshop. The walls are lined with cheap metal shelves lit precariously with vacuum tubes, awkwardly shaped metal casings, and coffee cans full of electronic components. Shannon leads Conway into the back of the room, where a few TV sets in various states of disassembly are set up on a rough wooden table. She flips a switch on the power strip they're all plugged into, and the TV sets tremble to life. Watch the TV sets. A ghostly white wobble flickers along one screen in a rhythmic pattern. Another just snow. A third, a small security monitor in the middle of the table, is oscillating between different shades of black. Shannon points to a small security monitor on the table. The image on the screen is just black, but it seems to be fading slowly, almost imperceptibly, between different shades of black. Shannon tweaks a few knobs on the side of the monitor, but the picture doesn't change. The screen is a cavernous black. It hums and swells at the pace of the tide. Conway loses track of the workshop's walls. They could be inches away, or miles. He's adrift on black water, traveling swiftly towards the rocky shore. There should be a lighthouse or a buoy by these rocks. It's too dangerous. Shannon switches off the power strip. Weaver's not here. One more quick stop. Act 1, Scene 7. Equus Oils. I expected to see Carrington again. But maybe not. Who's that? It's me. Oh, it sounds like one of the Marquez ladies. Well, I know it's not Remedios. She's back out in Knoxville these days, so... Hello, Shannon. How's the economy treating you? Nice to see you, Joseph. Don't work too hard. Anything else? It's me. Well, here you are. Where did Mr. Carrington go? Oh yeah, his tow truck came here, so he gassed up and left. He's awfully proud of that car. Yeah, I guess he's back out looking for a venue. He said he'd hope to run into you again, though. Maybe we'll hear about it on the radio. I'll keep an ear on it for you. Good to know. Take it easy, Blue. Bum leg is gonna drive me crazy. There are a couple locations that I missed the first time I went through this, and I want to show them to you now before we leave. Really nothing to see necessarily, but what a mess, huh? That gas station attendant was right. Bet I could hear each bottle break. You think you found everything, but the sign in front of the building just reads museum. The lights are off, but the front door is open. A few feet inside the museum doors, the ambient sound of the highway drops sharply away. The room is cold, dark, and still. A book lies open on a table in the center of the room. An open hallway extends to the left. Large glass doors bar the path ahead. Look at the book. There's no title on the book's spine or cover. A 3-word phrase written in pencil on the first page is smudged, indecipherable. On the first page, someone has left an ink drawing of a horse. Several dozen blank pages later, at the end of the book, it's an elaborate ink drawing of a one-legged man working an antique adding machine surrounded by whiskey bottles. Conway's steps echo against the hallway's marble floor and arched ceilings. Plexiglass boxes line the walls. The hallway dead ends on a darkened display case. The first box, just a few feet into the hall, contains an assortment of bird wings. Some are missing feathers. One large, brightly colored wing almost glows in the moonlight. Its feathers are intact, but a piece of bone pokes awkwardly from the tip. Awkwardly out from the tip. The display case is several yards wide, but just a few feet off the ground. It's unlit. Back in this corner of the darkened museum, very little moonlight creeps in. A gold-plated plaque on the surface of the case is a bit easier to read. It recounts a short history of fowl hunting in the region and then speculates, abruptly, about the nature of addiction. Glass doors won't budge. To apply any more force would likely break them. That's okay. The glass shatters. Somewhere ahead, a light switches on. After a moment, it switches off. The room is dark again, and the floor is covered in broken glass. Broken glass grinds under Conway's boots as he walks down the hall. He has the feeling of being in a larger space. Very little light reaches the far end of the hallway. The walls are completely smooth and strangely warm. Conway can feel his breath and sweat condensing on the surface. The floor is completely smooth and strangely warm. So there was something I missed, one more thing that I missed the first time around. I want to make sure I get it. If you look at the dragonflies, you can follow them down this road. The dragonflies vary their pace. As the truck approaches, they scatter. After a minute or two, Conway can hear swelling whine to the southeast. There's a house. The truck pulls up to a house with an intensely bright porch light. A cloud of dragonflies swells around the light, darting, hovering, turning at right angles. There are no lights on in the house. The stencil on the mailbox reads 2880 Beaker Boulevard. And below, written in marker, no solicitors. I work for long hours and retire early. Okay, there's one more thing, I promise. Just one. I'm gonna see if I can't get something more out of Joseph here quick. Oh, sorry. The stranger's also here. So, you saw this. We'll tell Carrington where to go. Oh no, we haven't been there yet. Oh no, that's okay. Yep, pseudoscience. I remember. Well, here you are. Ran across a strange museum up north a bit. Oh, that old place. I hear they keep a huge archive. Hey, next time you're up there, take a look in the archive room and see if you can find any of my old work on file. It'll be under Wheattree. That's my last name, Wheattree. The archive is just through the hall of glass. It's these big plastic doors, kind of hard to spot, but the texture is a bit different than the rest of the walls. And that's what I forgot to do at the museum. There's cool stuff in here. It actually is a big part of one of the themes of this game, and it's just and that would be basically like a look into adventure games generally. And this museum is all about adventure games once we, get on in. So we totally broke this. Conray runs his hands along the walls. The walls are completely smooth and strangely warm. Conway can feel his breath and sweat condensing on the surface. No, they're not completely smooth. One wall is a bit more tacky, like it's bleeding a bit in the heat. Conway presses gently and the door swings open. Rows of filing cabinets line the walls. The room is lit intermittently by a quivering fluorescent bulb. The label on the cabinet reads, Artifice, Failure. It contains several articles, CD-ROMs, prints, and punched cards. Each is stuffed in a large yellow envelope and labeled. For example, Q, Lavelle, 2010. Portal, Freger, 1986. Not the Valve game. Mondo Medicals, Soderstrom, 2007. The Postman's Choice, Vautier, 1967. Label on the cabinet reads Generosity to Loneliness. It contains several articles, CD-ROMs, prints, and punch cards. Some of the games include Calamity Annie, Anthropy. 2008. Cartlife, Hoffmeyer, 2011. Mainichi, Bryce, 2012. The Sea Will Claim Everything. Kryatzes, 2012. The label on the cabinet reads Memory to Regret. It contains several articles, CD-ROMs, etc. Everything I Do is Art, but Nothing I Do Makes Any Difference, Part 2. Or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Gallery, Riley, 2006. Digital, A Love Story, Love, 2010. Radiator, 1-to-1, Polaris, Yang, 2009. Brace, Coppice, 2012. The Cat and the Coup, Brinson/Valenejad, 2011. The label on the cabinet reads Sorrow to Zero Sum. And in the cabinet includes Siberia, Sokol, 2002. Prisoner's Dilemma, Sarah, 1974. The Walking Dead, Telltale, 2012. And finally, If I Had My Way, I'd Tear the Building Down, Wheatree, 1985. A few hundred sheets of paper are roughly stitched together in this manuscript. It seems to be a video game written in a sort of awkwardly English-like code. Flipping through the pages, Conway is able to gather that it's a story about three characters, Joseph, Donald, and Lula. Something like a tragic love triangle, but much more complex. Some kind of tangled, painfully concave love polygon. There we are. And that's what's in the museum. Act 1, Scene 8. Marquez Farmhouse. Okay, I was walking along the wrong path. That's great. There's nobody buried here, you know. It's decorative, I guess. Or it's art or something. I don't know. What are the names on the headstones? Nowakowski, Padilla. I don't know those names. Maybe the people who lived here before? I know when they bought this property, it already had a house and everything. Maybe they have some other symbolic meaning. Oh, look at that headstone. Marquez. I used to think that was for my parents. Now I don't know. Come on, team. Ooh, stairs have got to be it. So this is where she was. Yeah, makes sense. This is where Weaver and her parents lived. She's got a bunch of loans, you know. Had this place built. Do you have any debts? I owe some people some apologies. Well, you're lucky that's all you owe. My parents were like that, until the company store found a way to get to them. My dad, it was tokens to run the fans and air purifiers, and for my mom, it was canaries. Two solutions to the same problem, but they sure sounded different. Weaver had debt, too. A lot of it. All tuition. Debt's a very important word in this game. She said she was a mathematician or something? Yeah, she studied some esoteric stuff about something about using math to translate between Spanish and English. I think eventually Weaver put those math skills to work on all the red numbers in the family checkbook and got a clear sense of just how hopeless their situation was. So she left. I guess she just drove away in the middle of the night. They woke up in the morning and the car was gone. Never came back. Until tonight. Someone else told me to come here and talk to her. Huh. Okay. I guess we, too, aren't the only ones she's been talking to. Oh, that's not something you see every day. That old TV right there. Well, that is a damned antique for you. I had a model like that in the shop once, but I had to sell it off to make rent. Most painful decision I ever made. Say, do you mind if I open it up? Looks like the dials are all corroded and the screen is leaking light a bit. Come on, I bet Lysette would never forgive you for letting a specimen like that fall into disrepair. Do you remember the barn out back and the cave on the screen? Oh yeah, these tubes are all messed up. Looks like they've been in a swamp or a cave or something. There's moss growing on this one. That's okay. I have a few spares in my bag here. Here, I pulled this one out of an old computer monitor. Just needs to be recalibrated a bit. Okay, that oughta... Should be seeing something now. Are you seeing anything? A little bit to the left? Damn, okay. Here, I think the contacts are dirty. Now don't go telling my customers I clean off old vacuum tubes with spit. There's gotta turn it north, south, and... End of Act 1.